And we are set for our first fight of the night. Up first here in Los Angeles at the Olympic Auditorium, Danny Steele set to take on Satybek Isakeev. Danny Steele and Satybek Isakeev. There is Isakeev, a very aggressive fighter. He had 2 fights against Hector Pena. He lost his first matchup with Pena, won the second one on a disqualification when Pena hit him on the way down. So Isakeev, a good fighter, and this is a guy, Blinky, that just refuses to hold anything back.
Well, no question about that, Phil. Isakeev comes, he comes aggressive, and this is a different type of fight for Danny Steele. We know that Danny Steele's last fight when he fought bout, we know, is a very clever fighter. But on the other hand, Isakeev, he comes, he's aggressive. He's got 19 big wins, only 3 losses, and 12 KOs. The other thing is that Danny Steele is dropping a weight category to the 135-pounders. I think he feels he can be stronger and quicker at this weight. But tonight, both fighters will be coming at each other.
First time that Satybek Isakeev will face Danny Steele. From Kyrgyzstan, flew over to the United States a couple of days ago, tipped the scales yesterday at the weigh-in at 135 pounds. Well, the thing about Satybek Isakeev, like so many of these fighters from Russia, where Draka originated, Blinky, is these guys come into the ring, not uncommon for them to start slow. They like to kind of take around to feel out what their opponents have. So for these Russian fighters and Russians from Kyrgyzstan, they don't mind taking a round off. Tonight, Satybek Isakeev is set to go up against Danny Steele. And Blinky, as you mentioned, he's dropping from super lightweight to lightweight. He fought Jean Boulot 3 times, won the first fight, and then Steele has lost his last 2. I talked a long time earlier today with Danny, and he said, Phil, you're going to see a different Danny Steele tonight. I'm not going to use this 24-foot ring as a racetrack. And Blinky, we talked a couple of months ago when we came to you from the forum about Danny Steele chasing his opponent. And I think Danny got frustrated and got very, very tired.
Well, the fighter that he fought in bout was a very clever fighter. He was a counter fighter. He was a type of fighter that I think would frustrate anybody, but I think the main problem that Danny Steele was having that night is that, in fact, he was following him around the ring. In the later rounds, when he began to become more aggressive and fight more of the Draka style, Phil, is when he began to catch him and throw him to the mat. That's when he began to come on strong. So tonight, I think that Danny Steele would probably be the stronger of the 2 fighters, Phil. We got styles here that really Danny Steele is not going to have to look for his opponent tonight, Phil.
Well, the question becomes, Blinky, is he going to chase Satybek Isakeev around the ring? When you've got lightweights and junior super lightweights in the ring, this ring isn't just a 24-foot ring like a heavyweight would get into. It becomes like a 30 or 35-foot ring because they have to do so much more chasing to find their opponent.
Yeah, they do, but the additional room in the ring obviously is because of all the throwing that's taking place in the ring. And tonight it's going to be interesting to see if Danny Steele can, in fact, find his opponent, Satybek.
Well, Danny told me earlier, we stood in this ring a couple of hours ago, and he said, I'm not going to chase this guy. If I have to, I'll cross my arms, come lean on the rope, and talk to you and Blinky. But I'm not going to chase the guy. Of course, when you get in the middle of the heat of battle, Blinky, a lot of things can change. You look at Danny Steele, he's a 5-time world kickboxing champion, 31 wins, 5 losses, 24 of those 31 victories by knockout. He's from the United States, and he tipped the scale at 136, Isakeev at 135. Now we watched Danny Steele in his last fight against Jean Boulot, and he finally figured out what Draka was all about in the last couple of rounds. Let's go to the center of the ring, Steve Fossum, to introduce tonight's fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is for the worldwide Draka Intercontinental lightweight title. Weighing in at 135 pounds with a record of 19 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw with 12 knockouts. He is the Eurasian kickboxing champion, the Asian free sparring champion. From Kyrgyzstan in the red corner, please welcome Satybek Restless Isakeev. Weighing in at 136 pounds with a record of 31 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws with 24 knockouts. He is a 5-time world champion. He is from Hawaii by Los Angeles, California, USA. Please welcome in the red corner, Danny Steele. Your third man in the ring tonight will be referee Mr. Danny Steele.
Danny Steele calling both fighters to the center of the ring, and let's listen. Well, a very short set of instructions from Danny Steele. Danny Steele is the referee. Danny Steele is the fighter with the red and gold trim. Steele delivers the first kick. Isakeev follows it with a ball kick, and now Danny Steele, the referee, is going to stop the fight momentarily while the cameraman gets out of the ring. A time back in.
We have to put the cameraman in training so they can move a little quicker. But right away, Phil, I can see that Satybek is backing away, trying to use the ring, maybe taking a lesson from his countryman, bout. But in fact, tonight, Danny Steele looks a little more focused. Immediately, he's putting the pressure on.
Now, Blinky, you have to wonder if Danny Steele can't find a way to beat Isakeev, what his future in Draka will be, because if he's not successful tonight, he'll be 1-3 in his Draka career. Well, I think this is a pivotal fight for Danny.
I do too also, Phil. I think it is a crossroads fight, and I think Danny Steele knows that. He dropped the whole weight division because he feels serious enough about the game that he can make the adjustment. But here we see his opponent, Satybek, go for the leg dive and, in fact, take him down.
Round one. These lightweights are scheduled to go 10.
Powerful right leg by Danny Steele, and he's known for that tremendous right leg that he has down low, as he delivered it again to the back leg of Satybek.
Good overhand right lands on the left cheek of Steele, and Satybek backs him against the ropes and levels him. Now it is Steele who gets Isakeev in a headlock. Danny Steele said there'll be no points awarded, or will there? 1 point for Steele.
And here's where the American fighters need to make the adjustment, Phil, is that when they come into the clinch, immediately the fight doesn't end there. You don't just rest and clinch and the referee normally break you. In fact, you can go for a takedown, a throwdown, and that's where a lot of the points come from.
Final 10 seconds of this opening round. Both fighters go down. Steele trying to anticipate the takedown attempt by Satybek Isakeev. And they're going to give Isakeev a point on that takedown. An entertaining first round. And Isakeev, in the first 3 times we have seen him fight, Blinky, he was not nearly that aggressive in the first round. He was overly aggressive here in this fight against Danny Steele.
Exactly, Phil. Tonight, Satybek Isakeev came out. He started a lot faster. I'm sure anticipating Danny Steele that he was going to come out and try to take charge. I think it's just really the mind game, the strategy that he does not want to allow Danny Steele to feel that he's taking control of this fight right from the very onset.
Well, Danny Steele scored the first point in this fight. It came early in the first round.
There was an attempted takedown there by Satybek Isakeev, and the referee decided that was not a point.
There's Isakeev, and Danny Steele out of his corner quickly now to begin round 2. These lightweights scheduled for 10. We're at the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, an evening of Draka-style martial arts. Now Steele has to remember what he accomplished against bout in his last fight as he takes Isakeev down and into the ropes. A big takedown.
And what happened there was Satybek Isakeev threw a left leg to the body of Danny Steele, and in fact caught caught him with a nice shot to the ribcage, but Danny Steele locked the leg and took him down, scoring 2 points.
And in his first 2 fights fighting Draka Blinky, that's a takedown that Danny would not have accomplished.
Exactly, because you're not looking for the takedown, you know, traditionally in the American fighters, but he's making the adjustments. Like I said, towards the end of his fight with bout is where he came on strong, using the Draka style of takedowns to acquire additional points.
Satybek Isakeev.
And Satybek trying to establish that jab there to keep the shorter Steele outside. And here we go with another takedown right in front of us, Phil. Good golly, Miss Molly. Almost gave me a headbutt on that one.
Steele coming within about 2 inches of banging his head on our monitor here at ringside as they came through the ropes. Another 2-point takedown for Steele.
Front kick by Satybek, coming right back with that left jab. You see him trying to establish a middle range game, talking about Satybek in the red gloves. Back kick,
you bet.
And that there will take its toll. There's no question. That's land another one to the body. And those will hurt, Phil, especially when you land with the heel of the foot, the way Satybek just landed.
Caught Danny Steele by surprise up against the rope with a pair of spinning back kicks.
And that's something you don't see too often, where you'll double up on a spinning back kick like that. Inside leg kick by Satybek. You know, and you take your opponent, when you work the whole body like that, you go legs, body, and head. You really shake your game up, and it makes it a lot harder for the opponent to anticipate.
Steele trying the sweep, couldn't do it. Follows it with a good roundhouse left kick and couldn't take his opponent down. A great second round.
And it's interesting to me to see the way the judges are going to call this. We know there was a takedown by Danny Steele, but we know there was some powerful spinning back kicks also landed by Satybek that round. So really it depends on the flavor of the judge to see how they're going to score it. We know for a fact that those points mean a lot.
Now Danny Steele scored a pair of 2-point takedowns in the second round. That set up the first one. He grabbed the right leg of Satybek, hoisted him up in the air. A high amplitude takedown, and there goes Satybek right through the ropes. And a 2-point takedown for Steele. There's another look at it here. There's the second 2-point takedown. So Satybek Isakeev is going to have to watch that lead leg, Blinky.
Yes,
because Danny Steele's really taking advantage of it.
He's hanging it out there a little too long, Phil. What he's going to have to do is change the speed up of that left leg, flip it out there a few times for speed, so that it's not always just that real big blunt blow that Danny Steele's timing it and grabbing it for the takedown.
Steele trying the inside of the left leg with his left leg. Danny Steele warning Steele to not go for the inside of the knee.
Nice right leg by Danny Steele. Those hurt. All I can say is ouch. I'd like to see Danny put some combinations together, Phil. He's throwing the one right leg, the one left leg. I've not seen his big overhand right yet tonight.
Isakeev trying to land a spinning back kick, and Steele simply backed away, and Steele will get points because Isakeev went down.
And that's what makes this game such a game of agility, because if you throw a kick and you're off balance and you fall, those points are counted against you.
You betcha. Steele imploring Isakeev to come on inside.
See, 1-1. Everything's one with Steele. Steele's got to come back with something. Double up on a left leg or put a right leg, left leg together, Phil, because it's just one shot at a time. And that's a major adjustment for Danny Steele's career.
This is a monstrous ring, 24 feet. Isakeev taking Steele down, and Danny's not going to be happy with that, as he simply allowed the young man from Kyrgyzstan to wade right in, grab him around the midsection, and take him down.
1 point.
1 point for Isakeev.
good right leg. And I see Danny Steele come back with a left hook off that right leg, Phil. He is a tremendous puncher, but so far everything's been won. Right hand attempted, right hand, left hand by Satybek. There goes another leg dive.
Final seconds of this third round, and Steele is taken down once more. And you got to believe that could be a 2-point takedown. That was clean. Nope, just 1 point, says Steele. Now Blakey threw 3. You don't see the frustration on Danny Steele's face we saw in his last 2 fights against John Bout.
Well, he's coming back very composed. You can see he's not even breathing hard. You know his condition is peak. But I think the difference is in style. I think Bout had the style that was really made to frustrate a Danny Steele, Phil, because he was always counterfighting. He was always moving laterally. It was a different type of fight. And
now the first point by Danny Steele in that third round came there on that back kick attempted by Isakeev. Just didn't land it. And there's the first point awarded to Satybek in that third round, a takedown. And it was Steele who went down again with a similar takedown in the last 30 seconds of round 3.
And I think really what's really making this fight that much less frustrating for Danny Steele is the lack of movement from Satybek. And there's the first overhand right and a left round kick with the shin right to the head of Satybek. And let me tell you, that's going to end this fight tonight. The referee should have been counting, and I'm sure that the official from the commission has been giving the count. He threw an overhand right, Satybek ducked, and a left leg caught him right to the head.
He's not even making much of an attempt to get up. He's going to try it. He can't do it. He can't get up. Steele has won it.
Tremendous left leg by Danny Steele. That shot would have put anybody down. I am not surprised. It landed right in front of us, Phil. It was an attempted overhand right. He hadn't thrown the overhand right in the first 3 rounds. When he did throw it, Satybek went to bob under it and Steele came back with the left leg. And that's what I was trying to impress earlier, Phil. That Danny Steele need to put his hands and legs together, come back with a right leg, left leg, or a right leg, left hand.
There's
overhand
the right. And oh, he caught him with a knee right in the left side of the head.
I'd see that again in between the knee and the shin, because there's no question it landed flush. And I'm surprised that Satybek isn't out cold from that shot. That young man can take a tremendous shot to even still be sitting there, Phil.
Take a look at it again. There's the right hand, and he caught him right below the knee, the top part of the shin, and it caught Isakeev on the right above the left eye.
Now, what surprised me was how slow the count was, Phil. That was a knockdown from a kick. It wasn't a grappling move. It was actually a knockdown. It could have, if it would have been from a punch, I'm sure they would have started counting right away. But nevertheless, he could have counted all night. Satybek was not going to get up. There comes that left leg again, and right on the chin, right directly on the chin of Satybek. And that ended it for the Soviet fighter tonight. Danny Steele needed this win, Phil. This is a huge win for Danny Steele.
It's for you, Coneyala. My son to be October. Maybe a gas.
Now Danny Steele, a much happier Danny Steele than we saw in the last 2 fights where we saw him fight Draka. He won his first Draka bout, dropped his last 2. Told us earlier tonight he was not going to chase his opponent, and he didn't do it. Let's go to Steve Fussin in the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 4 seconds into the round, referee Steele stops the bout in the winner by knockout, and the new worldwide Draka Intercontinental Super Lightweight Champion in the blue corner, Danny Steele.
I just want to say thank you to everybody out here supporting the Draka. They've really done a lot of good things for everybody, and I just want to thank my opponent Satybek. Hopefully he's okay, but thank you for coming supporting Draka. Thank you.
Now the class man right there, Danny Steele, was here earlier in the day. There's Benny the Jet Yukitas to wrap that Intercontinental Lightweight Championship belt around the waist of Danny Steele.